Hi there, you're very welcome to this meditation on when you can't control what's happening. And we'll have just a few words to start with, and then we'll sing a mantra that's very appropriate for that subject, and then we'll sit together in silence. So, at this moment, we're told a second wave of the pandemic coming towards us. I suppose we feel a little out of control. What can we do about it? There's nothing we can do about it. So we just worry and become frustrated, angry, sad, all sorts of emotions, mainly negative. So I wanted to just share with you a Buddhist story. I'm quite fond of these very ancient Buddhist stories, which I think has a good message for us. So it's the one, you may have heard it, it's the one about the woman who is walking on the plains, and out of the jungle comes a tiger far off in the distance, and he spots her and begins to follow her, and she's very frightened. What can she do? She can't really fight a tiger and defeat it, and she possibly can't outrun a tiger, but nevertheless the only thing she can do is to run. So she runs, and the tiger speeds up, and it's gaining ground on her, and she's running, panicking, worrying, wondering what she can do to get out of this terrible situation. And she comes to this like a little wood, and there's a well there, and out of desperation she just jumps onto the well, climbs down it, and sees a root just sticking out, just a root, and she hangs on to that. She looks down, and she can't jump down into the well because there's a cobra down there, and she sees the cobra, it's asleep, but as she manages to get her hold onto the root that's sticking out of the wall of the well, it wakes up and it starts to strike, just missing her feet, and very angry cobra. And now the tiger has reached the well. It puts its gigantic paws with claws on the top of the well and looks over at her, salivating at the meal he'd love to make of her. And he's trying desperately to claw her, but he can't quite reach her. So there she is, hanging, holding on to this root, when she finds from out of the brickwork somewhere comes a little mouse. And this little mouse starts to gnaw on the root. And it's gnawing away on the root, and there can be only one outcome of that. So she's absolutely horrified. And the cobra's striking up at her, the tiger's pouring down at her. Tigers above, snake below. Isn't that really like life? And the tiger is actually next to a tree, and in his motions to try and reach her, he's banging his body against the tree. Now, high up in the tree is a beehive, and it's full of the most delicious honey. And of course, banging against the tree, it makes the honey start to drip. And the honey drips down, and it drips down onto her face and down onto her lips. And she just taste the honey in all its sweetness, in all its beauty, in that present moment, and really savours it and enjoys it. So that's really a story which is saying that whatever's happening, things out of your control, look for a positive out of the present moment and really enjoy it and really relax. So actually, you know, it's an illusion to think that we're ever really in control, because life is so uncertain. You never know actually what's going to happen next. And sometimes waiting and pausing is actually a powerful way to solve problems. So not always, you know, just thinking, oh God, what can I do? What can I do? And there was a story Ajahn Brahm, one of my favourite Buddhist monks, told about this officer in the army. He was in a war in a jungle, and the marauding enemy were coming closer. They were vastly outnumbering his very small group of soldiers. And he asked his colonel, what should he do? And the colonel said, there's nothing you can do. You're completely outnumbered and any action will not work. So put the kettle on and have a cup of tea, which I think is a very good answer to practically anything, because I'm English. So I would think that. The Chinese think so too. So, yeah. The lesson of that really is to say we don't know how things are going to turn out, and we can learn how to relax when we can't control things. Things do change. And really the Buddhist idea is of impermanence and very much the unreliability of trying to predict what will happen. As it happens, the officer that made the cup of tea, for some reason the enemy changed its strategy and were called away to something else. And so they actually survived. You never know. And this idea of pausing and waiting and teaching ourselves to relax and be okay with the present moment, even finding something good to savour and enjoy in the present moment, is not a cop-out. It's actually quite positive, because we do what we can do. But we need to know that there are times when there isn't much we can do. And I was thinking of the Christian prayer, which is, you'll know it, may God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Wow, if only I'd taken that to heart many, many years ago. So we can learn other ways of dealing with difficulties that don't involve getting angry, frustrated, sad. And that in itself, that intention, brings a different energy, a more positive energy, to accept, to embrace what's happening, to learn and to grow from it, to cultivate kindness, forgiveness, and calming the mind. And again, we often rush into things. Oh, I must calm my mind. And we skid to a halt and expect our minds also to skid to a halt, which obviously it continues being the crazy monkey mind. But learning to live with that is the secret. So calming the mind takes time and patience. Wow, patience. It's a fantastic quality and can be cultivated. And so, to learn how to do that. And instead of mulling over the past or being afraid about the future, we can learn from the present moment by listening deeply to ourselves. We so often go out towards, where can we find the answers, but actually to just sit, take the one seat of meditation and learn. What can we learn from the present moment, from listening to ourselves? And so radical, let the past go and be free. This is the first day of my life and your life. Freedom from the past and the future by being kind, being patient, being gentle, having the intention to be that way, carrying no baggage, nothing to prove, just being in this moment, being kind, patient, gentle in this moment. You see, if we allow ourselves to be ruled by anger, fear, disappointment, forcing things, even violent force, those negative emotions lead to negative outcomes. So let's make peace. Let's be kind and patient, no matter what's happening around us. If we're making peace with ourselves and with what is, then we start to generate that positive energy. It starts with you, and it leads to better outcomes to be that way. Even if no one else is doing it, you're doing it. So to do this, we can make peace with the pain and discomfort in our bodies, because we're at war sometimes with bits of our body that are painful or causing us problems. Bring the war to an end, bring care to your body. Consider the parts of your body that are troubling you as friends and listen to them deeply. Get to know yourself through direct experience. How are you feeling right now? Listen to yourself rather than to the news. Get to know yourself and sit with your feelings and give them space. Sit with your tensions and worries. See them as something that's passing through you, but they are not you. And give yourself permission not to know the answers. In this moment, be okay with not knowing. We are bombarded with information, much of it conflicting and confusing. Set all that aside, come back to yourself. Suspend judgments and opinions. Let them go in this moment. And so you can join in with me if you wish with a mantra, which is a good preparation to us sitting in silence together for a few minutes. And it's Ishvara Pranidhana, and it means surrender and trust no matter where we are right now. So do get comfortable. I'll be using the Shruti box and a Tibetan singing bowl. And do join in. That sets up that vibration in your body. Ishvara, 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 Pradidana, Ishvara, 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 Pradidana, Ishvara, 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 Pradidana, Ishvara, 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 Pradidana, Ishvara, 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 Pranidhana, 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 Ishvara, Pranidhana, Ishvara, Pranidhana, Ishvara, Pranidhana, Ishvara, 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 Pranidhana, Ishvara, Pranidhana, Ishvara, Pranidhana, Ishvara, Pranidhana, Ishvara, 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 Pranidhana, Ishvara, Pranidhana, Ishvara, Pranidhana, Ishvara, Pranidhana, Ishvara, Pranidhana, Ishvara, 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 Pranidhana, Ishvara, 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 Pranidhana, Ishvara, 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 Pranidhana, Ishvara, And so we sit together in silent meditation, calming the mind, stilling the body, being with whatever arises, and making our intention for kindness, forgiveness, compassion, love and peace. Letting go, let go, let go, let go. Coming to the breath and coming home to yourself with loving kindness. begin to come out of this meditation now. But you can use this video whenever you wish. And I'll put it on my Facebook group, which is called Meditations for You with Kath Reed. And I mean that to be a library of meditations for you, as a resource for you to be able to meditate when you want on various different topics. So just keep that patience and peace. I was actually meditating then on the in-breath. I was saying to myself the word patience. And on the out-breath, I was saying to myself the word peace. It's quite a nice little meditating mantra to use when your mind wanders, to come back to that. So just be gentle with yourself, and I hope you've enjoyed the meditation. Sending blessings to you. Namaste. I hope you be well, mentally and physically. And whatever happens, remember the woman in the well with the tiger above and the snake below and the mouse nibbling on the root she was holding on to. So may all beings live in peace. May all beings live in harmony. And may all beings live in peace and harmony. Namaste. Blessings.